to
Welcome.
Q&A number 8.
Number 8. We've done this for 8 weeks now.
Yeah. 2 months. Almost. Okay,
So first thing, if you have any questions, please post them. We have some for the end. We're doing Q&A at the end, but if you have any pressing, interesting things you want us to talk about, please post them in the comments now, and we'll get to them. Okay.
Okay. You're the announcer.
I'm the announcer. Okay, everyone, I'm the announcer, and I have an announcement about the playground. We'll be starting it this week. We mentioned it last week. Playground is the place where you have any comments, thoughts, ideas to play with, put them in the comments.
Things that you would think other people would benefit from.
Oh yeah, not just random thoughts about food or whatever. Things that will benefit the group.
But a little bit random, because otherwise you would put them underneath the video of the day or underneath the quote of the day.
Right.
But if you want to post something but it doesn't relate to the video or the quote, but you're like, this would really benefit the group and I would really like to share, then put it in the playground. And it's once a week on Fridays. We're going to post it after the live.
Yep, so look for that and you'll have a place to post whatever you want to post there that could benefit the group.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, next announcement, since I'm the announcer, is we are in stage 2. This week we talked about what it is. It's the translation stage. Stacy's posting little sections every day and you're translating those into words. If you aren't sure what stage 2 is, this is the first you've heard of it, that we're now in stage 2, go back and check out the videos on what stage 2 is.
And we're putting them into units. So I just organized them all into a unit that's called stage 2. So you can start there to understand what stage 2 is.
And if you don't know what she's talking about when she says units, post a question and
Yes.
we'll talk about it and explain it.
If you want to just know, on the left-hand side where it says discussion and about and things like that, there's one that says units. And it's all organized. So that's actually really helpful, because some people have said it's confusing when Facebook organizes the posts according to recent post instead of, not recent.
Recent activity.
Recent activity instead of time frame. And so people get confused and can't find the most recent one, and it's messy. So go to the units. It's very well organized.
Yeah, and it'll tell you what you looked at last and what, because you can actually check things off
Yeah,
as you do them.
it's really
kind
fun.
of fun. It's more like a game. So then, since we are in stage 2, we hope by now you have some place that you're using as your guidebook. Where are you recording your translation? Whether we talked about last week, whether it's a physical notebook, whether it's one of those binders so you can add pages when you need more for that section or concept, whether it's a digital version, Evernote, OneNote, whatever you're using, have that one place where you're going to put this that you can refer back to, because it will be the reference you will use when you get to the hero stage. So you'll have whatever the hero instructions are that will be new, that we'll be coming out with, in addition to your guidebook, right? Okay, so those are the announcements for there. Now, let's ask Stacy a question. Stacy, what should I do if I am behind in the book group?
Okay, so this is really fun because we're actually going to remind you about a section that we've gone over in the overview, and that is the section about pain points. And so it's possible that people are used to using pain points to motivate themselves to get going on a new task, a new direction, or even a one that they've had before. They're like, okay, use pain points to get them going, and it will work short term, but long term it won't. So if anyone was using pain points to kind of get them going and then they got behind, if they think about the book group and think about how they want to go back to it, like, oh, I want to go and catch up, just pay attention to how you feel about it, because if you feel like kind of there's a bully at the door saying, you better go or else, like if you're using any kind of negative motivation to finish or to catch up or anything like that, then it's going to be less effective and you may not finish. You may.
Thank you. And And Stacy explained this to me. It's not like there's the idea of the pain points, there's the idea of the bully at the door. Stacy explained it's the more you care about something, it doesn't feel like there's someone or something pushing you. The more you care about it, the more you're feeling like you have to push yourself in order to get it done, especially if you think it's going to be hard or not very fun or something like that. Then you're like, oh, I have to push myself. That's just the way traditional methods are. The more you care, the more it matters, the more it needs to get done, the less fun it is, whatever it is, the more you feel like you have to push yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're pushing yourself to do this course, it's not the most that's the problem with pain points, is they're temporary, and this is we're talking long-term transformation here, right? So aside from not pushing themselves in a negative way, what would you recommend that they do if they're behind right now? How can they catch up?
So one way would just be to watch 2 videos every day.
Okay.
And the reason why it'll just naturally catch up if you're watching 2, but also you get in the habit of doing it every day. So let's say an alternative would be to binge, do it all on a weekend, which I think is fine too, but just if you're getting in the habit of watching them every day, then that will become your new regular routine. And if you're setting aside time every day at the same time, then you'll remember, oh yeah, this is where I wanted to watch the book group videos. And so, hey Daniel, welcome.
Welcome. Okay, so one way is if they doubled it up every day, so they did a touch-up double every day, a double touch-up. Okay. Double touch-up. Which is, as one of our producers pointed out, that's if you did a full 30 minutes of your day, that is 1/48 of the day. That's like just what, 2% of your day, something like that. I don't know. I didn't do the math, but anyway, it's a very small part of your day. So if what you're achieving through this group is going to have a high leverage impact on you, on your life, then it's one of those critical few that we talked about.
Yes, if it's high leverage and it's going to have a big dramatic result, then it would, can you see how it would be worth it to spend 30 minutes?
If you're confused, if you're like, yeah, I get that. I already decided this was something I was going to do. I already committed to it. Why haven't I done it? Okay. The more you care about something, the more you think it's important, the more you think I should do that. If you're using the traditional method, you have assigned pain points to try to get you to do it, which means you're probably going to avoid it.
Yep.
Okay, so just putting that out there. Don't feel bad if you have fallen behind and you didn't mean to and you can't understand why. It's probably because you do want it. It's probably because you care and you see the value.
Yeah.
And it's probably evidence of that. So this is your chance to just kind of remind yourself, oh yeah, pain points only work temporarily. If I'm trying to use pain points to get this group done, I'm not gonna stick with it. It's gonna get in my way. It's gonna be the demotivator, as you called it.
Yep.
So this is your reminder to take that light approach, to take that, this is just for fun, this is to just experiment with the ideas, whatever boost, whatever approach that doesn't make it painful.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so
we have a question.
We are to the questions. All right, since I'm the announcer, I will read the question, and then you will answer the question, and we can talk about it. All right, so here's the question. It's a really good question. Thank you to the contributor. Are we saying the name, or are we just saying, you know who you are?
Yeah.
This was a fantastic question.
Yes.
Really great question. So here it is. Just a question to make sure I understand UP, meaning unconditional peak experience. Just to make sure I understand UP and selflessness. From what I've understood so far, is that it's what we bring to the situation and not something that happens to us. Okay, you want to answer that so far? Is it what we bring to something and not what is happening to us? So, an example, giving to someone because I want to. So the good feeling when you give to someone isn't dependent on their reaction. It's the feeling I'm bringing to it. Is that right?
Okay, so I love this. Okay, so when she talks about selflessness, if you don't remember, we talked about it in one of the videos, and it's talking about how bringing an optimal internal state to any interaction makes it so that you can do it to the very best of your capabilities, and then when you have that optimal state while you're doing it, you don't need anyone to pay you back, or so it's not selfish in the sense that, I mean, it's not selfless because you're enjoying it as you go. So you're getting something out of it, but it's also not selfish because you, if it were selfish, then you wouldn't maybe do the thing that's for the other person. So selfishness is a word that we've coined and we use in our family to describe the attitude of going about serving or doing things for other people, but enjoying yourself in the process. And so you don't really need a reward. You don't even really need a thank you. And I talk about this in the lives on my Stacy page, my Stacy profile, and I'm doing a series called Toxic Debt and How to Avoid It. So that's kind of fun. All right, so then, so what I've understood so far is that it's what we bring to the situation, not something that happens to us. So this person is really caught on to the idea that we can bring a positive internal state, we can bring up to any situation, and we can feel the way we like to feel in the most optimal way. And so it's what we bring to it. And so I think she's kind of like, is that right? And so yes.
Yes, you're right.
You're right.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
You are absolutely right. You're figuring this out. It's
Yeah.
making sense, and you're getting it right.
Yeah, it's not something that happens to you, it's what you bring to it. So giving to someone because I want to, that good feeling isn't dependent on their reaction, because it's the feeling I'm bringing to it, and that is also right.
Also right. 2 for 2.
Yeah, because it's not about their reaction. Their reaction can be whatever it is, but when you bring the joy along with you, while you serve them, while you give to other people, then it's funny because you're actually getting the end result that some people hope for, which is to feel good. You get that all the way along the way. And I think people sense it. I think people sense when you're doing something, and we kind of talked about sharing this idea about pure motives, how when you need nothing from the other person, when you're giving to them, it's a pure motive. You're not doing it for something else. And people sense it. It's my experience. I don't know if everyone shares that. I don't know if you share that view, but I think people, you're looking really serious.
Oh, I have my serious look. I have my thinking face on.
Yeah, it's my experience. That's all I want to say. So yeah.
Oh, so yeah, did you, yes? So the pure motive thing. You mentioned 2 things about it. Let me ask you a couple.
Okay.
One, you were talking about the selfishness, that people can sense that you don't need anything from them when you're doing it. One of the things I remember you talking about with that had to do with when you are doing it from up, you're serving someone else, and they have, they're going through trials or something like that. If you're not going suffering with them, how does that affect your ability to give emotionally? Because there are different ways of giving.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So how does that affect your ability to give emotionally, to be there to support someone who's going through a hard time?
Yeah, so it's my experience that when I feel the pain, this is really deep.
Yeah, is it too deep? Am I going too deep?
This is really deep, guys.
Yeah.
This is really, and it goes into relationships.
Yeah, I figured since she was kind of asking about giving,
Yeah.
it seemed like related.
Yeah, okay, so then, I want to say what I want to say, but it's not going to come out right because I haven't written it out and thought about it. So I don't know. Maybe you could share what you're thinking, or maybe
Oh,
you
okay,
could ask
okay,
another
yeah.
question.
Let me say what I'm kind of thinking,
Okay.
and then you can clarify it.
Okay.
So I was thinking that if we try to, it's kind of like the same with the pain points, where this really matters, I want to be here for this person. If we try to suffer in order to be there to serve them, we can burn ourselves out. We can actually not be available. Like when we get too when we get overwhelmed or whatever happens when we're suffering ourselves too much, we kind of put up a shield instead of being there and being available. So, if you take the alternative, the selflessness, where I feel good here to help you, instead of I feel bad here to help you.
Yes.
I can be here and support you because whatever you tell me, whatever trial you're going through, it's not going to make me feel bad. It's going to make me feel, it's going to give me a chance to connect with you and help you. So that's kind of,
We got the piano player.
oh yeah, here, 1 second. I'll be right back.
We got the piano player. Yeah, no, I think that's a really good way to look at it, and just to think about think about your past and when you were the most emotionally available to help someone, when you were the most supportive and understanding, when you actually were successful in offering support to the other person. It's likely that you were not from that overdrawn emotional state, but more from a,
Because doesn't it seem like a little bit like you're saying, if we're not letting that situation affect us, we're bringing something to it, and they're going through a hard time. It kind of seems like, oh well, how do you approach that if you're bringing something positive to the interaction? Because how do you show empathy in that kind of situation?
Yeah, I would really want to talk about this, but I don't think right now
Okay.
it's best.
and I know we brought it up briefly in another one where we talked about different intensity levels.
Yeah, because
Like
I've
at a funeral versus a...
No, I've done a ton of study on this,
yeah.
and I'm approaching it in my Facebook Lives. Like, I have a list of a series of 12 that I'm going through, and I'm going to get to this idea, but it's so fraught with sacred cows that I want to be sensitive to, that I'm approaching it in a very delicate way. So just to answer it right now, I'm like, well, I need all this framework that I've been building up in my half hour every day.
That's fair.
And then we'll also bring it up here, but I feel like it's more of a stage 3 topic.
Okay.
Don't you?
I'm with you there.
Okay.
I just bring it up because so the answer was yes. It's feeling good. As you're bringing to it, you're giving, you don't need their reaction, and then there are other levels to it that we can get to.
And I'm so excited to share with you guys.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. It's really powerful. It's just, I think, more of a stage 3 topic.
Okay. That's totally fair. That's totally fine. And I think there was one other thing about, you've been sharing in your lives about toxic relationship debt, where you're expecting a certain reaction, you're expecting some kind of, when you're giving for a reason, if you're expecting something on the other side, can you explain what that is and how it compares to when you're independently happy when you're doing something for someone else? Do you want to contrast those a little bit?
So talk about the difference between toxic debt and debt,
like if you're doing
unconditional love.
No, toxic relationship debt and unconditional love, unconditional peak experience.
Okay. Yeah.
Because I think that's exactly
That's
what she's
what
also
she's
asking
asking
about. That's another part of it.
So my understanding was when she was asking, so giving to someone because I want to, that the feeling isn't dependent on their reaction.
Yeah, depending on their reaction. Like, isn't that talking about the debt?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so then in my first 2 days of my relationship series that I'm calling Toxic Debt, the first one was service.
Oh, by the way,
and the second one,
since I'm the announcer,
is
she's talking about her free Facebook Lives. This is her series. Is if you're following on her Facebook page, she goes live every day and she's sharing drops of wisdom and sunshine.
They've been 30 minutes. I have had so much to say.
Glasses of sunshine and wisdom.
So
when she references a series, it's not like some separate program you have to sign up for or anything. You just follow her on her Facebook
and
page.
Actually, to answer this question, I'm going to tell you to go there.
Go there. She's got an answer.
I have got a really good answer.
Great answer. She's already talking about it. So
just hop over there.
Hop over there. Follow her there. And if you have questions, bring them back here and we'll talk about them together. Or just hit Stacy up on her page.
Yeah. Or the playground.
Yes. So many places, so many ways to support.
Yep. So thank you guys for joining us. yeah, so get your guidebooks
Perfect. Yep.
ready. We just started with stage 2, so you'll be able to translate the concepts into your own words to create your guidebook. So any last minute?
Nope, no last minute questions. Thank you again for everyone for joining us.
Yes, thanks guys. Take care.
Look for the playground right after this, and we'll see you tomorrow, and we'll be live next Friday.
Yeah. Bye-bye.